please briefly introduce yourself to the Fencerspage audience?
My name is Jaelyn Liu. I'm like a U.S. women's foil fencer, and I go to Star Fencing Academy.
Cool. And I heard that you're very well accomplished as a women foil fencer. You just won several gold medals in the World Cup.
Yes, I did. Yes.
I think you're facing a 13-year-old Chinese fencer, right?
Yes.
In the finals. So I guess like compared to her, you're obviously a more experienced fencer. Is there any anything you find impressive or threatening from your opponents or specials?
Yeah. She's definitely, when I saw her, I did not expect her to be 2013. We actually talked a little bit backstage before. I tried to get to know her better. She is super tall. I think that's one of her most intimidating traits. And she already has a pretty good foundation of her fencing, like tactically and everything. Let's say go into knowing her age, you might look down upon her, but it really didn't matter to me. She was still at the same level of any cadet fencer, and I would respect her like
So we
that.
kind of looking back to your fencing careers, though you're still young, but you already have a pretty long fencing careers. So how did you first get into the sport?
I have a sister. She went to this after school, not Chinese program. Yeah. There was one day where my first fencing coach was hosting like this fencing clinic. And my mom made me go because she has watched fencing before and she was intrigued by the sport. I think she told me that her mentor, her inspiration was like Lan Jie, the Canadian fencer. So she knew fencing vaguely, but she didn't know the sport, but she saw this like advertisement and she wanted me to go, and I absolutely hated it. And because I did performing arts all my life from when I was 4 years old all the way to when I was 7.5 when I started. I did dancing, I did ice skating, I did a lot of performative arts, and I think the switch up to doing some type of aggressive combat sport shocked me. I was not familiar with it, and it totally left a terrible first impression on me. So yeah.
Then how did it go after? Wait, you were starting fencing when you were in 7, 8 years old.
7.5, yeah, almost 8. So she didn't care if I liked it or not. I think that's like what most Chinese parents, as long as they put their mind to something and tell you to do it, I had to do it. So I did do it, and I guess I didn't like it for the first few months. But over time, as I slowly left the dancing world or the performing arts world, I had to like make a decision, right? I guess it's slowly, everything that I actually disliked about it, I actually slowly grew to like it. Whether it be like, I guess like hitting somebody hard. I guess I started learning like the power of like being confident in your actions, developing strength, developing a type of dominance over your opponent. I think that felt like I had a lot of energy. I took a lot of energy from the sport, and being able to win touches consecutively, I think that made me grow super proud of myself, and being able to execute the actions that I wanted to do in practice at a competition. I think I started being able to enjoy this type of art in a sense. So yeah.
So is there when you're at a crossroad and you have to choose between performance art and fencing, and you pick fencing over the other? Is it how it works at some point in your life?
Yeah, so I actually did child pageanting when I was younger. I was a child model. I used to live in Texas, so I did this like Little Miss Texas thing, and I also did dance, and I also did fencing. I guess you could say the child pageant and the dance went into one category. It was just all like, showcasing yourself and stuff, and fencing.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know, maybe I regret the decision. I don't know, but I think that it was a good decision in the end that I chose fencing. That's basically what happened. I was in a fork, and I had to choose one or the other. Yeah, there's two. I couldn't put all my time into both.
Yeah, I got it. And like since you're very dedicated, you're almost like a semi-pro or pro fencers right now. You definitely put in way much time than even than myself or any other amateur fencers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there like a specific competition or moment that from a coach or from your peers or from anyone that you realized early on that fencing is the path?
Yeah, I didn't think it was such a definite resolve. Like I didn't think like, oh, I'm going to set my mind to fencing entirely, and this is the only sport or path I'm going to take, because I wanted to be good at other sports. I wanted to be like a well-rounded athlete. But I think that when I just kept going in this sport, and when I started competing competing, it took up much more of my time, and I felt like I wanted to improve in this sport, right? I didn't want to be mediocre. I wanted to get better. So that's when I put more of my energy, more of my time, and that's when I slowly became more immersed in this world and learned more about the sport. I realized, yeah, maybe this is a sport that I want to take to like future depths. See, the thing is that I always wanted to be an Olympic medalist, gold medalist. When I was younger, I just didn't know what sport I wanted to do. When I was not known, when I was just really bad at fencing, but I enjoyed the sport a lot, I thought, hey, maybe I could try to get better at this sport and hopefully make this dream a reality. Yeah.
So you were always dreaming of becoming a Olympian, like a competitive.
Yeah, I wanted to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal. Like that's always been a dream of mine, but I just didn't know what sport I wanted to do.
And then fencing came out and then be like, hey, I might be talented and spending enough time in this and it might carry me to the dream.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's how it kind of happened.
I see. That's very interesting. So you were thinking about being an Olympian at a very young age, even before you start fencing, right?
Yeah, I think those are just like, when you have like those top 10 things you want to do in your life or achieve in your life. Like that's what I like had made, I guess.
Did you get it from the London Olympics? It was when you were really young, or from TVs or the only?
Yeah, I just like saw Olympic gold medalists and I was like, oh, I feel the aura. I need to have this. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Yeah.
That's cool. So as you mentioned before, you were in Texas at your early age, and you were even in the Little Miss Texas thing, and then you go to Boston to pursue your fencing, right?
Yeah.
So do you have any like worries or regrets about like the moving from Texas to Massachusetts? Because like that's like a far, and they're two very different states. Yeah.
I do regret a lot. I enjoyed my life much more than I do here, but I know that there's always going to be sacrifices when you want to achieve something that you really want, especially this big dream of mine, because I moved entirely to Boston just for fencing. It was not even because of the education or even the future colleges. No, it was just straight for fencing. I had such a good life in Texas. Like I had a big house. I went to a really good school that I tested into, and then I had to leave it all. But I don't regret moving. Like I think that this was the best decision in the case that I had back then. I definitely think this was the right move, and I wouldn't be here without being able to move to this new club and train with the people that I have right now.
So is Boston the only city you're considering, or you're also considering other places like around the country?
Yeah, I think it was the only place because my mom was acquainted with the owner of the club at that time.
Oh, I see.
She was talking with her when I was young and when I was bad, and she was like, hey, your daughter, she might have like potential. She doesn't have the good foundations right now. This is like what I think my coach, the owner of the club that I am right now, she said, she's bad, but she has like certain aspects to her that I think stand out, and I think she could take it to another level. And I think that's when my mom like got closer to her, and since she basically coached almost entirely all Chinese kids, or like I mainly had like a really solid Chinese family-ish, that's how we got closer to them. So
well, it sounds like your mom played a vital role in your fencing career.
Yeah.
So do you think that like what she did and her sauce kind of make you who you are today as a extremely competitive fencer?
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't have I guess put myself to such extreme lengths to achieve my goals. She definitely was a major factor that pushed me to achieve such greats, but I definitely give credit to her for all of the resources that I have right now, whether it be moving to Boston, reaching this new club, putting time and effort to traveling with me around the world, right? But of course, like my deep down, my drive comes from me, and I feel like that although a lot of parents give enough time, enough support, energy, money, whatever it may be, because this sport is highly demanding in that sense.
So I think although you could keep calling yourself you were young and bad, but I think a lot of people thought you were like a prodigy in fencing because you were
definitely. It's surprising to people that they didn't realize that my results now, they're pretty recent. I wasn't a child prodigy, like child, I guess youth categories like Y10 or Y12. I did start to shine a little bit better, more, I guess, in cadets, but I was not good for a majority of my fencing career.
Really? So you think that you have faced a significant growth over the last few years that makes you stand out in the cadets, and then
Definitely. I had major milestone marks, I guess. In Texas, my first club, it didn't really allow me to grow too much, but once I moved to my second Texas club, that was the first time I was able to medal in a national tournament at the NACs. At the last year I was in Texas before I moved to Boston, I finally reached like the cadet circuits, and I medaled pretty consistently in cadets. But in juniors, I was really bad. Like I didn't make a single result out of 64. I was just in the 64s the entire season, and then I moved to Boston, and then that's slowly when I started to medal at bigger categories. I guess I started to medal at junior World Cups, and then the recent senior World Cups was only like 2 years, like last year and this year, basically.
I guess we can move to some of your professional progressions. So I think at the age of 15, you became like the youngest ever World Cup champion in Hong Kong, right? And so do you think that the moment being on the podium, fencing the finals, and then winning the World Cup, so what were you thinking when you were becoming when you know that you become the youngest fencer ever win the game?
So yeah, this moment was like my first cadet world championships medal. I didn't realize this. I didn't expect it at all. Definitely, I was fully I was in total exhilaration mode. I was just over the moon. I just couldn't believe it. But looking back, it was kind of silly. I think that I realized, oh, this was like the turning moment. This is the time that I finally have stepped into the senior level competitions and I made my mark, and now I can continue medaling. No, it was definitely not the case. Like this season, I definitely think I have had some pretty rough patches, and I don't think that just because I medaled in Hong Kong, that I've been able to solidify my position in such a high level category. Definitely not. But of course, it shows that I do have the capabilities, and that I can always use that moment as a driving moment, I guess, to show that, hey, that this is like some inspiration. Remember the energy, remember how hard you worked, remember how much determination you had in that competition. Try to regroup it all, but I shouldn't dwell on this moment. I feel like most people, after they've had such a shining achievement, I think it gets to their head, and that's definitely what happened with me.
So after that, you become even more eager for the for the podiums and for
definitely.
And I also knew that Lee Kiefer was your teammate, right? Oh, I mean, she's still your teammate, and she's also a very well-known fencer. Do you learn anything from her, or even did she learn anything from you as a foil fencer?
Yeah, so I don't know about the latter question, but Lee's always been one of my idols. When I was younger, when I started fencing, I did watch her, and I thought that her style of fencing was just so bizarre, but so cool to watch, because she just broke ground and being one of the first women's fencers to be able to normalize flicking or fleshing, or a mixture of both, right? And I think that's the skill set that I wouldn't say took from her, but I think it's just drew inspiration from. I know myself as a pretty strong, I'm a pretty built fencer, so I believe I have what it takes to be able to do such skills like flicks or flashes, and I want to implement in my fencing. So yeah.
And so you learn a lot from Lee during the
definitely. I've talked with her. I mean, we can't really get into too deep of a conversation because she wants to keep everything, her secrets to success, of course, a secret, right? And same with me. So, but I do see from afar how she's able to take her losses and rebound, how she deals with her wins, and also how she copes with her losses. So yeah.
That's nice. And also, I think that you won like 3 gold medals in Hong Kong, right? Out of
Oh wait, not Hong Kong, Wuxi. Yes.
Oh yeah, and Hong Kong, so in China. So
Yes.
you feel like it's like, and also because you're Chinese, do you feel like that's like a lucky ground for you, or because the audience, or anything special?
Yeah. I do love China. I love everywhere in Asia actually, but definitely China is like one of my favorite grounds to compete on. It's not only is it like a very familiar atmosphere, but like it's also such an efficiently run competition. I can't say for like all of China is just good. I did well in Wuxi and I did well in Hong Kong, but in the last 2 years in Shanghai, I haven't performed so well. But I wouldn't say like, oh, China is just like there's only certain places in China. I definitely say like once I compete well in a certain area, I like to call it my lucky place or something. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. Absolutely. And so kind of moving off to some of your lives. So I know that you're still a high school student, so you're also facing school works and stuff. You're traveling a lot because you're fencing in the world about like different World Cups and championships. And do you consider like flying, like even in the flights, doing school works or homeworks part of your life, like just flying around, squeezing times to do all the work? Is it part of your normal schedule?
Yeah, so the last 2 years in high school, I did regular school. So I went to school and I had to balance academics with athletics, and I had to do work on the plane, going back and forth. And it was very hectic and it was pretty overwhelming, and I felt mentally very stressed and I just couldn't take it, I guess. Well, I did take it. I think I actually balanced it really well, but my school couldn't take it. And I was somewhat like kicked out because I missed too many days, right?
For fencing.
Too many absences. This year I moved to online and it's been much better. I still get like similar like academic caliber, and I think that I'm still getting a good education in, and also trying to branch out and learn other things in my free time too.
You're getting a lot more influences as a competitive fencers, especially on social medias, right? You have more fans and followers and people commenting about your games. Do you encounter people who are, like haters, that people who criticize but not like?
Yes, I have seen comments, and I do get a little bit pissed about it, but haters are gonna hate and you can't really do anything about it. And I don't really I don't want to waste my energy fighting with them. I think it's just kind of stupid, because people will find any excuse or any reason just to bring you down because they're not you. So
yeah, they don't know what you have experienced and stuff.
Exactly.
That's a very good mindset.
Yeah.
You're a very stellar junior fencers, and you're about to move to seniors at the next year or two. Do you feel pressures, moving from juniors to competing with the senior fencers?
No, I think it's actually I think it's exciting. I'm finally done with cadets, which I was so excited about, because now during the cadet and junior world championships, I won't have to fence 3 days in a row. And I think that's definitely what dragged me down the most. I think I couldn't keep up endurance wise because cadet, junior, and senior tournaments are run super differently. Cadet and junior, it might all be about skill and stamina. But once you go to seniors, it's all about the quality of fencing, right? It's all about being able to outsmart your opponent. It's being able to dominate, control your opponent's rhythm, pacing. That doesn't mean that you have to spend so much stamina or so much endurance. So senior level competitions, it's more of the quality of rather than the quantity of fencing.
So you feel like in the younger age, like cadets and juniors, like people have very different styles because you're training in different places. But when you're moving to seniors, then everybody is well-rounded and it's more a competition of like your skills and experiences and mindsets.
Yeah, I think in seniors especially, you cannot underlook anybody. Everybody is the same. As I said, everybody is a competitor. You wouldn't expect rank, I wouldn't say rank 100, but like you wouldn't expect like rank 50 to suddenly make podium, but it does happen. Rank 50 can make podium, rank 50 can beat number 1. It's really just how you perform and how you know that you're improving at every competition. And even if you know someone's not on your skill level, you have to treat them the same, because you never know, you know?
Are you going to competing in the LA in 2028 for the Olympics? That's your dream, right?
Yeah, that is definitely one of my, you know, milestone marks.
Do you think that it's your biggest advantage, or what will be your biggest advantage if you are competing in LA?
Yeah, home ground advantage is like the best thing ever. You can take in all that, like all that excitement and all that familiar atmosphere in. And also because you don't have to travel as much, you like know the people, like I think it's just, that's one of the biggest advantages. So yeah.
In a higher level fencing, like Olympics or World Championships, since you have more audiences, do you feel like the presence of the audience will impact your mindsets or how you fence?
No, I actually don't think so. I actually think I can use the audience. So actually, in a recent example in Italy, Italians take fencing very seriously, right?
Yeah.
So there were a ton of people yelling for my opponent who was Italian, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of actually leveraged it to my use. I kind of thought that they were cheering for me, actually. I just kind of use it in a sense to help me boost up my energy. And that, I think, was like the turning factor. That was what happened, that I was able to get enough energy, enough power to actually beat my opponent. And then afterwards, when you do win, that feeling of like I proved you wrong, like it's just what gets me, and I think that's like the best type of feeling ever. So
I really thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Thank you.